Hello and welcome to Clay Creators. Today's model is one of our quick builds, which basically gives you the opportunity to kind of experiment with colors and the decoration. We are going to be doing the Key Stage 2 version of the butterfly today. And like I say, it's basically the wings and the decoration on here which you can pick and choose, basically experiment with. We will need our scales, creator cards and tools, all our clay as usual. You can use a airtight container as well if possible. Just as you're decorating, you might want to keep your model fresh whilst we're doing that. If you don't have anything really airtight, often a lunchbox or Tupperware will do the same sort of thing. Like I say, it's going to be the wings and any decoration on there that you get to basically pick and choose later on. Like I say, I'll go through all the steps with you, guide you through doing a version of our own. And then you can then experiment afterwards if you want to do different things, changing the colour of the body, changing everything, mixing colours. Like I say, use your own imagination to create some fantastic butterflies. So let's get started. I am going to start with a nice simple black body. Like I say, down the line you may want to change this, you might want to try a different colour, but I'm going to start off with the black, and I'm going to be measuring out on my scales 0.80 or 0.80 on my scales. Scales on. Check they're at 0. I'm measuring on the grams unit, and then I will get that measured out. Around about 0.8. If it's not quite, it's absolutely fine. If it's a little over, a little under, it's fine, because when you're rolling out your body, again, there's no right or wrong. You could have a thinner body. I'm at 0.78. So you can roll this out to the different lengths. You may want a smaller body, you may want a longer body. Again, it's your choice. I'm just going to freshen the clay up, give it a little stretch, a little roll. I want to start off with a nice smooth ball to start off with. I've used my hands. You may want to use the work surface to get that nice round ball. It's up to you what works best. So I'm going to start off with that, and I'm going to roll it out. I'm going for an average kind of roll out to around about 6 centimeters. You may want to go a little bit shorter. Like I say, it's up to you. I'm going to use my creator card ruler on the back there just to make sure I've got roughly the right size. So add in a little bit of pressure, nice and even all the way along, not pressing down too hard. So I get a nice even body. And I'm dead on 6 centimeters. Okay, all I'm going to do is add a little bit of detail on there now, because I want it to kind of shape a little bit. I don't want to leave it like that. I'm going to give it a little point and a little pinch at one end for its tail. Nothing drastic, just want it to have a little bit of a pointy tail. And at the other end, I'm just going to put a little head on there now. So again, I'm going to go back to the black clay. And again, it's up to you whether you want to do a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, a little bit of a different shape. All I'm going to do is basically a ball. I'm going to measure, again, using my creator card. And I'm going to use a 1 centimeter ball. So remember, when you're using your creator cards and you're using the balls to measure, when you've rolled it into a ball, you still need to be able to see the circle around the outside of the measurement. Okay, so I've got my 1 centimeter ball, and I'm just going to put that at the other end from that pinched tail that we've just done. And I'm starting to get the body. And again, before it starts to dry out too much, clay away, keep it nice and fresh. Sorry, forgot to mention that. I'm going to put a couple of lines down the back of him, just so I've got that detail on now before it dries out too much. And then I'm going to put the body into my airtight container while we start on the wings. Like I say, now it's time for you to kind of decide what colors you want. You may want to do a mix, you may not want to do a mix. If you are mixing, there's a little guide for colors on the back here. To get the right shades, you may need a little help from parents or an adult. Just ask which color is going to be stronger, which one's going to be you're going to need more of and less of. I'm going for a simple one for now, and like I say, we might be able to do a little mix for the decoration side. So I've got black body. I'm going to go with yellow for the one set of the wings, because we're going to do the wings in 2 sets. We're going to do large wings and smaller wings. So the large wings will go at the bottom, and then I'm going to do smaller ones at the top. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to do yellow for the bigger wings, okay? Again, scales on, making sure they are right, and the big wings are going to be measured out at 1.50 grams, and we need 2 of them. Too much. Not enough. Okay, 152. So like I say, I'm going to do that twice. I need 2 of the bigger wings. Fantastic. Clay away, keep it fresh. So again, we're going to start off with the round balls. We're going to get rid of any lumps, any lines and things. We'll roll that out into a nice smooth ball again. Remember, use the work surface if you have to. Use your hands. Just do whatever works best for you. Now, again, you may want to do a different shape to what I'm about to do. I'm going to do a teardrop kind of shape, which I think works well for the body. So starting off with my ball, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to press this down slightly. My work surface is going to give me a nice flat side. The other side is going to get a little bit lumpy bumpy from my fingers, so I'm trying to press gently and even so I don't get too many lumps and bumps. But if I turn it over, my work surface is then going to give the other side. So once I've pressed it down into a disc sort of shape, I'm going to kind of pinch one end just slightly to kind of give it a pointier end, and then I'm going back to the table. I'm going to press down a little bit more, trying to keep it even. Again, if you don't quite get the shape you want or that you're looking for, just roll it back into a ball and start again. It's not a problem in any way. So I've gone with this sort of shape here. Now another way to kind of make that shape, but without that, is to start off by rolling this into a little bit of a sausage, and then a little bit more of a sausage at one end, kind of giving you more of a drinks bottle sort of shape. And then when you press down, it will give you a pointier end. Now me doing it in a different way, it's giving me a different shape to what I've already done. So I'm going to go back to the way I've done, but if you can see, here's another option, a flatter, pointier wing. Okay, but I want my wings to be kind of symmetrical and even. So I'm going to go back to what I did for the first wing. I'm going to start off with the ball. I'm going to press down. Nice and even. Turn it over. And then I'm going to kind of get my pointier end. So now I have 2 of the same shape. I'm going to pop them back onto the top. Now I'm going to stick them to the butterfly now, just so they can stick and bond nicely while we move on to the onto the smaller wings. So like I said, these are going to go at the back. So if I'm putting the head closest to you, I'm going to then take the smaller pointier ends, and they are the bits that's going to stick or be closest to the body. So I will put them, leaving a little bit of room at the bottom, tail still sticking out. Just gently push them against the body, a little bit, not too much. Again, whilst the clay is drying, it's going to be quite flimsy and floppy, but as it dries, it will all stick and mold nicely. Just a little fix. I'm going to pick it up. So that is now the head at this end and the tail at this end. Oops, try not to break it. I'm going to put it back into the airtight container, and then we're going to do the smaller wings. Nice and careful. And sit it flat. Okay, onto the smaller wings. So again, we're going to do 2 because we need 2 smaller wings again. And the measurement is, this time it's going to be 1 gram. So we need 2 1-gram measurements. And I think I will go with a blue wing. So I'm going to do 2 1 grams. 2 1-gram measurements. Fantastic. Clay away, keep it nice and fresh. Now I'm going to do the same shape again because I want my butterfly to kind of look symmetrical. Again, you may want to do different shapes for the 2 different size wings, so the larger ones could be a different shape to the other. I'm going to go do exactly the same, and if you are following me, I'm doing exactly the same. We're going to roll that back into a ball again, starting off with our starting smooth, no lumps and bumps ball. Again, may want to use a work surface. Okay, so I'm going to do the same shape. I'm going to press down, turn it into that kind of disc. Then I'm going to point it a little bit at one end. Just pressing down gently, and then back onto the work surface, press down again. I'll do the same with the other one. Again, now we're at 2 very similar wings. I'm going to get these stuck on again now before we move on to the decoration. Now again, the decoration, so dots, lines, swirls, up to you. And the colours that you use, again, your choice. I'm going to keep it nice and simple for the time being. Bring body back out. And once more, we're going to put the thinner ends against the body. You can have the 2 sets of wings touch each other if you want. And just give it a little press again against the body. It should start to look like. Try not to squish his head. Oops, now the wings will fall down. So like I said, obviously it's now quite flimsy. I'm going to put it flat down for the time being while we decorate. Let it start to dry. So the decoration is quite simple. It's kind of different, but again, it can be as difficult as you want to make it, basically. I'm going to do simple little balls and a couple of little lines. But you may want to do stars. Like I say, you might want to do some swirls. It's your decision. So I'm going to go with a nice simple red dot to start off with. Now the measurements, again, it's up to you whether you want to do a bigger dot, if you want to do a smaller dot, lots of small dots. I'm going to do a couple of simple ones. I'm going to take a tiny pinch, more along the lines of the 0.5. That was a bit bigger than the 0.5 measurement on the creator card. And again, I want these to be very similar, so I'm going to make sure they're the same size. I'm then going to do smaller ones for the smaller wings. So I'm going to do 4 red dots. And all I do is make them into little balls. Put the rest of my clay away. And these little balls are just pressed down gently on each wing where you want them. And again, you can have them in the middle, on the outside. It's your choice. So my bigger ones, I'm going to put nearer the body. And I'm going to just gently press that down. Same on the other side. And then I'm going to go smaller red ones on the outside of the small wing. And give it a little press down. And going to show you what I've done. And then one more little bit of decoration, I think. I'm gonna mix a little color. I'm gonna mix a little green to go in here. And when you're mixing colors, I say in the past, it's about getting the right shade or the shade that you want. So sometimes the colors are going to be stronger than the others. If I'm gonna make a little green. So I know my blue is stronger than my yellow. So I'm gonna need more more yellow than I do blue. So all I'm gonna do, I only want a little bit of green. So from the two colors, I know, like I said, I'm gonna need more yellow. So I'm gonna go with around about 1 centimeter ball on my card of yellow. Just a smidge too much. So I only want a light green. So I'm going to take a tiny pinch of blue, even smaller than the 0.5 measurement. I'm going to put those together and I'm going to give them a little mix. A little bit fiddly. But again, I don't want much green. I'm only going to use a little bit of green. So I'll mix them together. And once I've got my green, it's whether I want to do another dot, whether I want to do lines, swirls, your choice. I'm going to go with a plain, simple dot. So I'm going to snap a little bit off again. I'm going to go with the same theme, making sure I've got the right size dots for each wing. So I've gone smaller dots for the big wing this time. Put them on. And then I'm going to go with 2 bigger dots for the blue wings. Okay, so the decoration is done in that aspect. You might want to put some little antenna on the top of his head. If so, I'm going to take a tiny pinch of black clay. Again, this will probably need to be the same color as what you've already done. If you're sticking to like I've done, sorry, when I say the body that you've already done, if you've mixed a color there, hopefully you've got a little bit spare. And again, there's no right or wrong. If you've got different color antenna, it's not an issue. So I've rolled that into a little tiny sausage, just cut it in half. I'm just going to they're a little bit fiddly, sorry. I'm just going to gently stick them to the head, spike them up a bit if you can. Like so, a little bit tricky when you get into smaller clay. And that's really our model finished. If I can pick him up, bring him to the camera. Little antenna, and my decoration looks this. Okay, over to you to use your imagination. Like I said, experiment with the colors, experiment with your butterflies, see what you can create, see what colors work together and what sort of decoration you can do with them, okay? If you've found measuring with the scales maybe a little bit too tricky, you might want to go down to the Key Stage 1 version, use our measuring spoons for the measuring. Get in touch at claycreators.com/shop, where you can order your spoons, and then obviously give the Key Stage 1 video a try. Figure out what works best for you, and let's hopefully get some really cool butterflies built, okay? So thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.